welcome back to the Carbon Connection. It's Yas, and it's time for another video. So if you've watched my previous video on the N54335, you'd know that it is currently being repaired. Unfortunate happenings, but that's that. I actually haven't had the car with me since May of this year, so that's a good 4 months now. Really missing it, but progress is being made, so hopefully we'll get it back within the next 3 or 4 weeks, fingers crossed. But in the meantime, I figured let's talk about a previous car that I owned, considering that the 335 isn't with me. So if you've watched my introduction video, you'll know that I owned an F80 M3. It was an Austin yellow non-competition package DCT, and it had carbon ceramic brakes. It was pretty well spec'd, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed that car. I had it for about just over a year and a half, and then I decided to sell it. So during my time of ownership, I did quite a few cosmetic mods to the car. I then also installed downpipes and went on to fit a JB Stage 1 unit. So that is the single map unit, not the full-on JB4 unit where you can change maps. This is a single map unit, just plug in. I can't remember the exact amount of boost that it adds to a stock map, but I'll find out and I'll put it up here. I think the F80 M3 was probably the best car that I've ever owned. Definitely the quickest and most powerful car that I've ever owned. And M3 has always been a dream of mine, and I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to actually own that. And yeah, I think this would be a nice excuse or nice time for me to throw in some cinematic footage of the car for those of you that don't know what it looked like, courtesy of Grim Media. I get pretty sad every time I watch that, but yeah. For those of you that don't know, the Grim Media is owned and run by my younger brother. So if you guys are interested in getting a photo shoot done or video, he's a super talented photographer and videographer. You can hit him up. I will actually leave a link down in the description below to his social media page, so you can contact him should you feel the need to get a video sorted out for your car, or even if it's a photography shoot that you need for a function, or because you're bored and you found a cool place to take some cool photos. So let's get back to the topic. I had an F80 M3, I installed JB Stage 1, and I actually took the car to the dyno at Seelo Performance, so we could do a comparison as to how much power the JB Stage 1 actually added. And that was the main purpose for me creating this video. I thought it would be kind of cool to show people what sort of bang for buck they get with the JB Stage 1. I'm not too sure what current pricing is, but obviously that's available on the Burger Motorsports website. I'll leave the details in the description below as well. So first order of the day when we went down to Seelo was obviously to get a baseline figure on the F80 M3. So we strapped up, put onto the dyno to see what power she was running, completely stock, and it went something like this. We were really impressed by the figures that it put out stock standard, and bear in mind that's power that is putting down to the wheels, so that's not flywheel kilowatt power, it's kilowatts to the wheels. I know in a lot of my other dyno videos people are like, hey, but isn't that car supposed to make more power? Why does BMW state that it makes, for example, 235 kilowatts, but on your dyno it's showing 211? So at the Seelo Performance dyno it shows wheel kilowatts, so that takes into consideration any drivetrain loss or power drivetrain loss that the car suffers. Seelo actually mentioned on the day that it was the strongest stock tune F80 M3, or rather S55, that he had dynoed at his shop thus far at that point in time. So this was back in 2020. We then went ahead and installed the JB Stage 1. It's a pretty simple unit to install. I don't have any footage of the actual installation on the day, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure you can find that all over YouTube. After installing the JB Stage 1, we strapped her down again and said, okay, cool, let's see what sort of power she made after JB Stage 1. I was really satisfied at the power gains from such a simple and not so expensive unit that we had purchased. Seelo, however, had more in mind, and he wasn't satisfied. You know, Seelo, he loves power. So he said that he wanted to run the car again after adding a very slight ethanol mix to my fuel. So he went ahead and did a quick 10% ethanol mix, added that to my car, and we said, okay, cool, let's run it again. And I think it's pretty cool that we did that, because it also shows the true advantages of proper fueling and obviously proper fuel quality. So we decided to run it again, and the power gains, or rather the power figures that it showed in dyno, were really impressive, and I was ecstatic at the time. This is what happened. So in my opinion, the JB Stage 1 was well worth it for me. I mean, I wasn't looking for anything crazy. I just wanted a slight bump in power. It gave no issues. It delivered the power really smoothly. And bang for buck wise, it just made sense for me. And it was really easy to install. It wasn't something that I had to worry about or flash over and over again or anything of that sort. I didn't need to revise the tune. And at the time, I didn't have the downpipes on the car. It was just the JB Stage 1 when we did the dyno tune. Unfortunately, I didn't get to visiting the dyno at Seelo again once we had installed the downpipes, be it with the JB Stage 1. Although we did attend a traction off race day, and the car did a 12.4 in the quarter mile on street tires, no prep or anything of that sort. Very slight fuel mix with OB1. For me, on a very hot day, that was fairly respectable. It was also the first time that I actually attended a proper drag race or drag event, and it's the first time that I put a car and my F80 M3 on a drag strip. The 12.4 was achieved with launch control. There wasn't that much wheel spin off the line, thankfully. I was running Toyos at the back, and yeah, they gave decent grip on the day. So if you're considering a basic mod for a little bump in power, I highly recommend getting a JP Stage 1 if you have an S55 powered car. I'm not too sure what the results would be like on other motors like the N55 or my N54, but definitely satisfied with what we had running on the S55. So that sums up what I wanted to showcase in today's video. I'll just leave you guys with a little more cinematic footage from the grim media of the F80 M3 because I really miss that car. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.